herself into mystery writer Diane Christie's bedroom window and shone brittle morning light across her face. She stirred out of a restless sleep, an all too familiar feeling filling her stomach. Something is very wrong. At the thought, adrenaline flooded her veins. "Stop it," she murmured to herself, her eyes still closed. Forcing the thought away, she pulled her thick down comforter closer to her body and turned to her side. She'd been feeling the same curl of dread in the pit of her stomach every morning for over a year. Memories flashed into her mind, a recounting of the all-too-brief moment when her life seemed to be looking up. The 6-week period when her rocky marriage seemed to be getting better. Her 5-year-old daughter adored her, and the adoption agency called and said they had the perfect baby for her, a little boy who had been abandoned by his mother at a hospital. But the season had been short-lived, and before long her marriage had crumbled all over again. Now, her husband was dead, and her daughter, who'd just turned 19, showed nothing for her but contempt and disdain. She couldn't do anything for her husband now, but she wanted desperately to repair her relationship with her daughter. It had been an uphill battle over the years, but the last thing she would do was give up on one of her kids. She would do anything for them, and more than anything, she wanted her family to finally come together and feel whole, to feel as though, for once, they were all on the same team, the same side. She inhaled the briny sea air that wafted in through her bedroom window and tried to relax her mind. Today was the day before Thanksgiving, exactly a year since she and her 16-year-old son, Josh, had moved to the small coastal town of Fog Harbor, Massachusetts, to escape what had happened back in New Jersey and be closer to her daughter, Alexa. Fog Harbor had been very good to them. The house and community had been everything their landlord, Mr. Davidson, had promised it would be. The rental was clean, large, and sunny. And even better, the neighborhood was quiet, the people were friendly, and the area was safe. Her alarm clock sounded. She switched it off and swung her legs out of bed, her bare feet sinking into the carpet's lush pile. She went to her bedroom window that she had left cracked open the previous night and peered out at the harbor. She gazed out at the jewels of light that sparkled on the surface of the dark blue water. The fishing boats had long left for the morning, and only sailboats now floated in the distance. She placed her palm on the cold glass of the window and let the calming scent of the sea loosen the knots in her shoulders. But then her eyes caught a flash of color in the yard, and her heart sped up. A man in a long leather coat was walking the property line. It took her a moment to realize it was her landlord. Before she could duck out of sight, she saw his eyes flicker up to the window and zero in on her. A smile spread across his face. Sighing, she opened the window wider, and chilly winter air rushed into her bedroom. "Good morning, Mr. Davidson," she called.
"How's my favorite mystery writer this morning?" he asked cheerily, rising on his tiptoes, then rocking back onto the hard winter ground.
The man was never in a bad mood, or else he never let on that he was. He was an older gentleman, rail-thin and friendly, and owned several rental properties in the area. He was also an avid mystery reader. When she'd filled out the rental application and he'd discovered who she was, he'd told her he'd read every book she'd ever written. "No complaints. And you?"
"Great as always,"
he said. Still smiling, he pointed to the binder in his hand.
"Just doing the usual monthly rounds, checking out my properties. Didn't mean to disturb you none. Did I wake you?"
"No, I was up."
"Oh, good."
The wind picked up outside, racing through the barren trees that bordered the yard and whipping through Mr. Davidson's gray hair. "Well, if you don't need anything, I should go and get my day started," Diane said.
"Yes, ma'am. Write me another one of your fantastic books, will you? And make the next one extra scary."
Diane returned his smile. "I'll try and do that." She slid the window closed and glanced at the clock on the bedside table. 7:47 a.m. She grabbed her phone and texted Alexa, asking if she was planning to come to Thanksgiving dinner. She'd called already and had sent 2 texts, but as was typical, she'd gotten no answer. She threw on her robe and tied it tight against her.